And the easiest thing to do in this case is I'm going to measure out where my outlets are, and I'm going to take my oscillating tool. Super simple, wear a mask, eye protection obviously. And then we are not going to patch that. We're just going to put the 1/2 inch over the 1/4 inch. That's going to give us better insulation from the Colorado winter, which has been amazing, thank you Jesus, so far. Let's begin. So this is a really cool tool. What I did is I measured from the subflooring all the way down here at the bottom. I got on the ladder. I went all the way to the top up here to the ceiling. That measured in at 90 inches. This is 8 feet long, which 8 feet is 6 inches too much. So I measured from one end to the other. I made my mark 90 inches. And then I just so happen to have a heavy duty aluminum square, T-square. I know that is plumb, or level I should say, but plumb, you can call it plumb as well. I've made my pencil mark. Now I'm going to take a utility knife. I'm going to score the front. I'm going to crack it, score the back, take it off in one fell swoop. You could also, if you feel more comfortable, grab that T-square again and cut along next to it. That worked out really well, actually. It'd be a little easier on the ground, probably, but I've scored it, just the top layer. All right, so I actually held it pretty well right here. Gave it a little tap right here. That has broken my line just beautifully. I'm gonna go ahead and bend it back, and I'm gonna go ahead and score just down the pipe a little bit more. And you definitely wanna use a sharp box cutter. This is going right through it. And that's how you get a nice piece of drywall cut. Score it, give it a little whack. All right, because I don't want to goof up my drywall, this is a 4-foot sheet right here, and because I can already see where it's screwed into the stud, I'm going to go ahead and put the middle first. This is also a 4-foot sheet right here with a probably 8-inch sheet all the way on the right, and then this one is a hair over 3 feet over here. I'm going to have to cut the electrical for that one. That's going to be a little bit more tedious. And unfortunately, the 4-footer over here, I got to cut the electrical right there. So I'm just going to place it nice and easy. This is a full sheet minus 6 inches right off the top we already cut. Pops gave me a really cool drywall jack stand. It's a roll lifter. It just sets on the lip, and if you need to go up, we can go up. I kind of cut it perfectly. Let's see what happens. This is where it gets a little tricky. Folks, we're going to be right back to the drywall video, but I wanted to thank today's sponsor, which is going to be Manscaped. They have come out with some awesome new products. Lip balm, body wash, which I use all the time to get this drywall dust off my body. They have a shampoo and conditioner 2-in-1, and one of my favorite products they have out of many is going to be their boxers. Right here in front of us is the 3-pack, and this is also their new lip balm as well. I actually use their boxers every single day, and what I like about them, not just for work in construction or remodeling, but also in the gym, mountain biking, which I love to do. They're not riding me. You guys know what I'm talking about. Some of those cotton boxers, or some of those boxers you're kind of pinching, you're kind of bringing them out of the crack there. Not good in my opinion. These ones, the material they use really kind of hug everything together, and you're not picking anything out of crevices. Honestly, my favorite boxers that I've ever owned. I'm wearing a pair right now as we speak, and of course, they're brand new Lawnmower 4.0 Performance Package. Comes with a set of boxers. The Lawnmower 4.0 Performance Package also comes with your ears and nose trimmer. All your other goodies as we can see here. And of course your Lawnmower 4.0 with LED light and ceramic blade. Waterproof, so you can use it in the shower. I have full tutorial videos on this channel, and we'll link that below as well. They also have their brand new straight razor. Now, right below in the description box of the video, you're gonna see the link that's gonna take you to Manscaped's website. Check out their products. With that link, it will automatically give you 20% off anything you purchase. Doesn't matter how big of an order, how small of an order, it's gonna give you 20% off with that direct link in the description box right below the video. Free shipping as well. You can pick up their new Lawnmower 4.0 Performance Package. You can pick up their lip balm. You can pick up any product that they offer. Use that code. Thank you again to Manscaped for sponsoring this video. And now, let's get back to some drywall. Well, as you can see, that was a hair too tight. That was about a 1/4 inch too tight. I'll go ahead and cut my next one down a little bit. It's right on the dot. The only problem is I'm probably right on the dot, actually. I think I'm fine. I might try to move this over just, I'm talking about like a nail width, not even a nail width. That's looking really, really good. So if you have trouble lifting it up, go at an angle and then go ahead and put it up as an angle there because it gets a little tight. I like it though. I really do like it. One more of those and we're good. That was my second one. One more and we're gonna be right on the dot. At first I didn't think I was gonna put 1/2 inch over it. I was trying to be a little bit cheap and I wasted a lot of time. I removed all this wallpaper, which took a while. I opened up these holes to see the studs right here because I was gonna patch that. Save yourself at least a handful of hours and consider laying over drywall over your other drywall. These were about 13 and change per one sheet of 1/2 inch drywall. I think it was like 83 bucks and change for 6 of them. I'm gonna be doing this wall where the master bedroom window is. I'm gonna finish that with 1/4 inch and then lay the 1/2 on top. And then in the back of the closet, which I realized I'm gonna put some 4-inch ultra thin recessed lights just like this right here. Those are 6 inch. I'm gonna put 4 inches in the closet. It's a little dark in there. Not really, but looks a little bit dark on camera at least. That is an exterior wall behind there. So I'm thinking about not going cheap. This is my master bedroom. This is where I'm gonna be sleeping. I wanna be comfortable. Of course, I do have heat in this home, but we'll lay in. I do have a couple holes I need to repair, so not that big of a deal. I might leave a 1/4 inch. I might put 1/2 inch in there as well. Now let's talk about tools briefly. This right over here is gonna be a drywall. I'm just gonna call it a drywall drill. Some people call it a drywall gun. It's actually a very unique drill. We're gonna give you examples, but you set it to the precise depth of how far you want it to go in, and it simply just goes whom, whum, and you hear a little bit of a twist when it hits the stud, and if you need to adjust it, this slips up, rotates a little bit, what gives a little less or a little bit more up here. It gets a little getting used to, has a little clip right here if you're up on a ladder. This is a corded one. Obviously a battery powered one would be a little bit more expensive. I'll link this in the description box below. Once you get used to it, I'm almost completed with the master bedroom and I finally got used to it. But let me show you what I was using for about 95% of the job so far. Simple drill, you can use an impact gun if you want, but you want to be careful how far you go in. If it wasn't able to go in enough and I didn't want to push it too far through, a couple little adjustments, 1/4 turns to get it to the right depth. So here's my wall right here. I already know that this is my stud right here. So let me show you how this works here. Now in the video earlier or later, I'm not sure exactly when that's gonna transpire. The way I'm gonna edit this video, because this is actually in the future, I think I'm actually gonna go in reverse. Anyway, make a long story short, you can use a laser level to pinpoint exactly where your stud is. If you do miss it, you're not gonna really, it's gonna go in too far and you don't have to back it out unless you really want to. You're gonna mud it over it anyway. You're just gonna have more screws in there. Let me show you how it works, right? So we're gonna go about a 12-inch down, but obviously you want to go straight in with your screw. You don't want a screw going a downward angle, upward angle, side to side. You want it straight in, and that's gonna hit the stud, and that's gonna go in just beautifully so we can mud it. So obviously contractors use these because it's very quick. Check this out. We're gonna get in nice and tight with the shot. Again, straight. That one actually didn't even go in as far as it should have, so I had to take my screwdriver and still do some turns to make it sit really nice right there. This was done with the gun on one strike, looking good. That is kind of the drywall game. Now contractors, obviously, they know they're gonna mud over it. Maybe my line was off. Probably my line was off. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put one more, because I don't think I hit the stud on that one. So let's go ahead and do one more. That one was off as well. That went in too far. So sometimes you miss and you're gonna have to mud over that. You're gonna be mudding in a line anyway. That's why sometimes the gun, when you don't hit the proper stud the first time, where you know for a fact you're gonna hit it. There you go. If the camera picked up that zzz at the very end, that means you're in a stud. So I'm off on these for some oddball reason. I thought I was straight on, but maybe for filming I wasn't paying attention. That's where the laser level does help. So regardless, you don't have to have this really expensive one. You could have a drill if you want. Again, 90% of my job has been done with this and a screwdriver to finish it up. Sure, a little slower, but I like it. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and finish these up. Be very careful on this part. There is hot electrical back here. It is properly capped off, but you do definitely want to be careful. That's why you start very, very slow, get a little window. It might be easier for you to do this on the ground, get your measurement, mark out your box, and do it that way. I might do that for my next piece, but again, be very careful. If you need to, go ahead and shut off the power, just in case you clip a wire or something like that. Just definitely be careful on this step. I see my wires right here. I'm gonna get the shop vac. We'll finish this up. A really great tool for the edges. For instance, this sheet right here, I cut it about 1/4 of an inch too long. So you can either use a multi-tool, oscillating multi-tool like this, but you need to be a little careful. This tool is specifically for drywall. It's almost like metal sandpaper. I do want to discuss a little bit of an error that I did, and hopefully you won't make the same mistake as well. As you can see, it looks like a little bit shanty right here. That's because I had to file it down just a little bit. I'm gonna put my tape, I'm gonna put mud on there. It's slightly raised up over here on this side. The mistake was, here are 2 factory ends, and they actually compress that just a hair for a smoother line right here. Again, that's the factory uncut. It's both the same on this side as well, because again, those are full sheets. Those are the first 2 sheets I hung up. This one I had to cut down. My mistake was the side I cut, I should have put that side over there on that wall with the factory seam butting up against this one right here. Sure, I can go ahead and unscrew all my drywall screws, flip it around, but no, I can't do that because I've already cut the outlet. So again, I'm not overly concerned about it. I'm gonna tape it, I'm gonna mud it, and this is gonna be an accent wall with boards going around. It's the slightest little upheave. I like to keep the paper nice and flush, but if you're in this situation, like my next piece that I have right over here, I'm gonna use the factory edge up against this edge with my cut side against this wall here. Now I also want to talk about that as I just mentioned. So again, this is a factory seam. It bows in just a little bit, lines up beautifully. This is not going to happen every single time. There will be sections, like let's say right here, where you might not be able to get a factory edge and one is rough and one is not. Just like we showed you right here. I tried to cheese grade it down a little bit, and that definitely did help. But again, mudding this is going to fix that issue. Now right here is not any factory edge. That's a rough edge, and it seamed together pretty good, but mudding will take care of that little lip that I can fill with my finger right here. Next up is going to be a really nice outlet cut right here, all the way around. When you put your cover on, you're going to see no showing lip at all. Let me show you a mistake. This one was a little bit too high. As you can see here, I went too high. So when you go to put on your cover, let's say right there, unfortunately, I got a big gap right there. So how you fix this, if you've made this mistake, is I'm gonna put mud and I'm gonna stick this chunk in there. I might have to put it on this side, but I'm gonna put a little mud and some tape, sticking that chunk in, and it's gonna fix it right up. So don't throw away all your scraps if you unfortunately have made a mistake. All right, now I want to show you a beautiful clean line. Again, I'm working with a very small 8 1/8 inch width-wise. Of course, 90 tall, same thing. But look at how much better that goes together. It's not even screwed in yet, and it's a beautiful tight seam. That was a mistake. Should I own up to it and go cut a fresh sheet and recut my outlet down there? No, not really. I tapered it down a little bit. Might do it a little bit more like we talked about. I'm gonna live with it. Not my best work. Don't make that mistake. Get your factory corners. Now my cut side, after I use the cheese grater just a little bit, and sorry if I call that a sander, that is a drywall cheese grater. Wear a mask when using that. Use a mask when cutting it, universal tooling it, dremeling it, routering it, whatever you do for that. A lot of dust. You don't want to be breathing this stuff in. I'll link this in the description box below. A lot of people have been telling me that these are really good. The 2097 filters by 3M. Not to mention it's the only mask that doesn't fog up my safety glasses that you probably see me use. An N95 mask or whatever, that always fogs up my safety glasses. I can't stand it. Anyway, love the look. Don't make that mistake. I'm spacing my drywall screws about 12 inches apart. Sure, there's a few little mess ups. We're gonna mud it. Don't go too far in either. Let me show you kind of a perfect, that's about perfect right there. Easy way to do, and a way you can know if you have not gone in far enough, is you grab yourself a little drywall knife right here, and you go ahead and rub it right over it. If you're getting a click, and I'm not talking about a click of a drywall gap. I'm talking about, so sometimes you might have to run it up and down. Right there. That one right there is not in far enough. So I found one to show you. As you can see my little mess up right there, which I'm also going to show you how to fix that as well. So when we rub it, we got a little click. I don't know if the camera's going to be able to pick that up or not. This one right here is not in far enough. Definitely take 5 minutes and double check your work before you start mudding, because you don't want to lay down your mud, especially if you have quick set. Depends what you're using. So let me show you. Beautifully going over, no clicks. Right there means my metal is hitting that, which when you go to mud, that's going to get caught up right on, see my fingernail? That's going to get caught up right there. I need to go ahead and half turn that in even more. Actually, this top one is not in as much. It seemed to go over it, but we need to go ahead and put that in a little bit more there. This one, like we just talked about, alrighty, that is fixed now. Now this hole on top, how there's some paper kind of lipping out right here, what we want to do is we want to go ahead and dimple that in. And so everything's kind of dimpled in. That way, when we go to spread our mud, everything goes in. So now we're looking good. Just take a few minutes, go over your screws, and you'll be styling in no time without having to set your mud down and get distracted. Don't go too far in either. Let me show you one I went a little too far in. Okay, here's one on my mess up. I went a little too far in. See how it's kind of recessed in? That's a little too far. You don't want to go in too far in, then it's just going to free spin in there and it's not going to tighten down. So don't go too far in. Again, go about like that. It means that we're not going to have any issues with mudding our gaps right there when we're ready for that step. So with the ugly corner over here, now I'm going to butt the other ugly corner up against that with the factory corner right here on the edge. It's going to look great. So is a laser level overkill for vertical lines? Not necessarily. And horizontal lines, I should say that as well. So also remember, do not forget your inner studs on your sheetrock drywall panels. Here is a rookie mistake right here, going all the way around the border, even a little bit of trim. Obviously your baseboards are going to be covering that up, which is really nice as well. So might as well screw some screws down at the bottom as well. And then as you're coming all the way up, now let's get a little closer, and there's nothing in between here. So your studs that are inside of the center of your sheetrock piece, you need to screw that in as well, especially if you're doing new ceiling pieces, because obviously you're sleeping, walking underneath it. The reason I got out my laser level was because I already had one and I didn't feel like doing a large vertical line, making sure it was straight. My studs are 16 inches from the seam, 16 inches across. I got wood right behind there. I'll then go from the green line where I just screwed in 16 inches over, and I'll have one more vertical line section. So if you hit it just right on a full piece of 4x8 drywall, you'll have your edge, you'll have two center lines here and here that you'll have to mud as well. And I'll space it out the same. That's not quite a full sheet, that's a 90-inch tall sheet, and I'll do it every foot or so up that stud wall line. Same thing with that one, and same thing with all the other ones as well. All right, so for the window framing, obviously there's a lot of different sections. There's a lot of different cutting below and above, small little pieces. The easiest way that I found was I wasn't trying to get it precise down here. It could be slightly larger, but I didn't obviously want to go under. I wanted to get it flush with my wood framing. So what I did, as long as the size lined up okay, and if it was down just a little bit, I used my cheese grater. Obviously that's going to be a lot more messy, a lot more dust, but then I simply just went down the line and got it beautiful. This is a factory edge right here. This is not, that piece is not, these sides are not, and all these bottom portions down here, if the camera's picking this up, I had to just cheese grate that and then shop back the dust up. And obviously, wear your 3M respirator. I have 2097 filters and I wear eye protection when doing that. You don't want to be breathing it in. You don't want that dust in your eyes. All right, guys, so I still have a little bit of work to do. I'm gonna go ahead and do these panels right here, running my screws down the studs. I finished up the closet. You're gonna wanna definitely subscribe to the channel because we're gonna be mudding and showing you how to tape and mud next in the next series of videos. This was how to hang drywall, what tools to use, what to expect. Obviously, there's different sizes, a 1/4, 1/2 inch, 5/8, so that's the thickest one. Your 1/2 inch is your typical one that most people do use. Again, this is 1/2 inch. I'm really pumped on it. It's a great product. Not too hard to work with, just time consuming especially if you have closets and all that sort of nonsense. But you just take a panel at a time. Obviously, you don't have to have all the fancy drywall guns. So if you wouldn't mind hitting a thumbs up on the way out, guys, I really appreciate your time and watching. Again, in the description box below is going to be the tools that I've used for the job. I will try to link as much as possible. And again, we have a big remodel on our hands. Bathrooms, we're going to do a shop gym, wood shop, we're going to do the full works, patio decking, everything. You're going to want to subscribe. Thank you for your time, and we'll see you on the next video. My name is Chris. Bye-bye for now. Don't let the party stop, guys. Hit one of these videos, continue to watch, and we'll see you soon.